Please.
Today, rebels in eastern Aleppo shelled a mobile hospital that Russia set up, killing 2 Russian medics, injuring another, as well as a number of patients. Do you condemn the attack?
So here's what I know about that. I've seen the reports. We've not been able to confirm. It's difficult to do, obviously, given the fighting and given our lack of access to what's happening on the ground. But to answer your question, of course we condemn any attack on a hospital or healthcare facility.
Would you actually have a few more? Sorry.
Okay, 2 more, please.
The U.S. is known to have influence with some of the rebel groups. What
Yes.
is your message to them? Should they continue the shelling?
The shelling of I think I just was very clear about, we would condemn any shelling by anybody, opposition rebels or regime forces, what have you, on healthcare, hospitals, schools, civilian infrastructure, any of that. And we've been, I would hope we've been very consistent publicly as well as privately in conveying that message. Go ahead.
So this is happening in the context of these talks and responding to the talks that the U.S. and Russia are having, as I understand, on the withdrawal of rebels from Aleppo. The rebels said they would not leave. What makes the U.S. think that they would, since you're having the discussions?
You mean leave Aleppo?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, those, again, this is part of the dynamic that we're dealing with on the ground. Look, I mean,
can the U.S. really?
Sure. Let me. I'm just trying to. So, one of the dynamics of the siege that's been taking place on Aleppo is that as much as Russia, as much as the regime says that, oh, we need to, separate and get Nusra out and separate the opposition from Nusra, it's hard to conduct that kind of separation when you've got a civilian population, when you have these opposition forces under nearly constant barrage of bombs and assault. That's hard to do in a combat situation. It's hard to do if there was actually a ceasefire in place. Difficult enough to do, let me put it that way. When you add the fact that there's this siege taking place on Aleppo, that's a harder nut to crack, if I could put it that way. That said, we recognize that part of the getting to a solution here, and by a solution I mean an end to the violence, is finding a way to get Nusra out of the equation, to separate them, or to some way address our mutual concerns about Nusra as a terrorist organization, but also end the fighting. And that's the challenge. I don't know how to put it other way. So these are all technical talks taking place. I don't want to show too much of what we may be talking about. These are for these groups to hopefully address this week, but we don't know at this point whether those talks are going to take place.
I guess
Mark,
my
could
question.
I-
Oh, sorry.